When someone has a passion for what they do, it comes through in the product they provide their customers. Just ask LaRocco's Pizza's new owner, Jason Johnson, about their crust. They make it every day and let it rise for a minimum of 24 hours before they use it for their pizza. And his staff doesn't want to do anything they won't be the best at, and you can taste it in their pizza. LaRocco's Pizza, just a half block north of the I-470 and Gage Boulevard exit. Come taste the difference.
It's time for Real Estate 101 with the Karey Brown team from Preferred Advisors.
Good Saturday morning to you. This is Karey Brown, Associate Broker with eXp Realty, and you're listening to Real Estate 101. Today I have Brent Gove, who is a dynamo out of California, here with me today, and one of the leaders with eXp. And we're going to talk about how eXp is changing the face of real estate. So, good morning, Brent.
Good morning, Karey. How are you?
I am good. Hope it's not too early for you.
Oh, it's not too early at all, man. It's great to be on the air with you.
So, how long have you been with eXp?
2.5 years.
And you have definitely been going gangbusters in 2.5 years. Wow, that's crazy.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. I've been doing real estate 23 years. My first 12 years were at RE/MAX. Loved it. Great experience. Then I went to Keller Williams. They spent 9 years recruiting me. And finally, in 2009, I went to Keller Williams, spent 8 years there. I loved it even more. Just a wonderful experience. Then about 2.5 years ago, and mind you, I've had 100 companies approach me over the past 20 years. But 2.5 years ago, I kind of took the jump and switched to eXp, and it's been life-shattering, life-altering. It's like no company on the planet, which is why they will become the next, Airbnb, Uber, Netflix of real estate. It's a complete shift in the way things are done, and it's just awesome.
So I know they hear people talking about it, and I know whenever I was recruited to a former company, they talked about profit share and how that was going to be the greatest thing ever. Let's talk about what the difference is between profit share and revenue share.
If I could do this, I was told that, how terrible Keller Williams was by the management team at RE/MAX, how it would destroy my career. It's pretty funny, and I'm going to get to your question. And I eventually, in 2009, the market had crashed so bad. I thought, well, I'm going to go check them out. I mean, things are so bad. It's in the middle of the crash, the greatest economic, correction since the Great Depression was in the middle of 2009, right in the middle of it. Everyone's homes boarded up. People are stealing air conditioning, copper wiring out of homes. Heck, they were stealing the back sliders, ripping the sliders out of the house, ovens, dishwasher. It was crazy. And so I went to Keller Williams after 12 years at RE/MAX, and they're like, this will destroy you. They're nobody. And it just wasn't true. Bottom line, I was leaving their team for another team, and maybe they were convinced of that, but my reality was it was the opposite. It was a far better situation. No offense to you RE/MAX agents out there, but for me, it was night and day difference, and that would be a big win for Keller Williams. So when I went to eXp 2.5 years ago, again, I didn't see much of a difference. Then once I made the change, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is night and day difference. And I didn't like Keller Williams. I loved it. And so I think maybe a good title for today's call with you, Karey, would be The Truth About eXp Realty. How's that sound for a title? The Truth About eXp Realty. How does that sound to you?
I think that sounds great.
Right on. So I was told, you can't get any leads at eXp, and the reality was that at RE/MAX, I was there for 12 years, and I think I got 3 leads from RE/MAX Corporation. And what does every agent in the world need? Leads. Without leads, you're dead in the water. So I go to Keller Williams, and they were huge on training, and it was true. They delivered on the training value proposition and culture, great training, although I guess it is office-specific. Depends upon where you are. My office was amazing. And they delivered on that value prop of great culture, great synergy, and great training. But as far as leads, I was there 8 years. I never got a single lead from Keller Williams, so I went backwards. Now, they taught lead gen, true, but actual leads from the company, the way they were set up, none. So I went from 3 leads in 12 years to no leads in 8 years. Then I go to eXp, and my first month, I think I got 100 leads. So the truth about eXp is, through their corporate website, which is a website they help every agent get, called KV Core. You got to turn it on, learn how to use it. But I'm telling you, a high school senior could figure it out. And if you're not techie, get yourself a high school senior, rent a cousin, a nephew, a niece. They'll figure it out for you. It's that easy. They'll have it whipped into shape in 2 or 3 days, and you're getting a ton of leads. So the truth about eXp is they came up with the most valuable thing that we all need, which is leads, and then training. I'm thinking, well, there's no way anybody will out-train Keller Williams, my old brokerage. There's just not a chance. And but after doing my homework and doing my due diligence, our old office, we were cranking. We had 2 or 3 classes a day, which is unheard of for a real estate company to offer 2 or 3 classes a day. But eXp offers 5 to 10 classes a day, sometimes 13 classes a day, live, fully interactive. Raise your hand. It sounds like we're talking right now, and it's commercial real estate, residential real estate, luxury, technology, social media marketing, how to market your listings, how to, all kinds of stuff, acquiring buyers. It was just shocking. So again, another win for eXp. And then the other thing is, I was told that the stock was garbage. It was a penny stock. And they were right. It was a penny stock 2.5 years ago. But today we're on the NASDAQ. The value, I was promised the stock would be worth nothing in 2 years. It has tripled since I was promised by intelligent people who were credible and kind of shook my tree a little bit. I'm like, God, what if the eXp stock is worthless in 2 years? Then I thought about it. How much stock had I acquired from my old brokerage, Keller Williams, after 8 years? The answer was none. So I thought, well, if it is worthless in 2 years, then I'm in the same boat I am with my old company, Keller Williams. I thought, okay. And RE/MAX had no stock after 12 years. Those companies are not agent-owned. And so since coming to eXp, I've acquired about $500,000 worth of stock, and pretty awesome. And so, again, the truth about eXp is they really do have stock awards. They have ways for you to acquire stock and to help you retire, which is unheard of. I've never, ever been to a retirement party for a real estate agent in my 23 years. They don't. They give up, they quit, they tag out. Maybe an appetizer at Applebee's, a couple appetizers. Someone says, I'm exhausted, I'm out. But they don't retire with this amazing benefits package. They get to get the last escrow and it's done. I mean, the worst thing you could do if you want a retirement is to be a real estate agent or a broker. And then I'll end with this, the whole revenue share portion. You asked me about revenue share, how it stacks up to profit share. And the bottom line is there's no comparison. I mean, man, after 8 years, I think I was making $700 a month, and I was one of the top 5 out of 500 in my local office. It all depends on which office you have. We had one of the most profitable offices, so there were times it was $1,700 a month, and I had 1 month in 8 years it was $2,900. But, oh, my gosh, man, I think by my 3rd month at eXp, I was earning $10,000 a month revenue share, $120,000 a year. Within 13 months, it was $55,000 a month, which is over $600,000 a year. I mean, you just absolutely can't compare the two. It's like comparing Motel 6 to the Ritz-Carlton, the Holiday Inn to the Hyatt Regency. You cannot compare them. A Range Rover to a Ford Explorer. They're just different vehicles designed differently for different goals. And so it's been absolutely the most powerful thing I've ever been a part of. You just got to research it. So that's the truth about eXp Realty. It has been amazing. Just my experience was when I left RE/MAX and went to Keller Williams, it was amazing. But I did the homework and the research both times. And if you do your homework and you stay in curiosity, it's going to benefit you. So there's a long answer to a very short question you gave me.
And I totally understand it. The thing that I find so interesting is that people can be so closed-minded. They think, oh, well, it's just another fad. And you really are coming from contribution and saying, listen, I thought the same thing. Let's really look at it and see if it's a win for you. And, it almost sounds too good to be true, and I think that's what freaks people out. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm sure there's some of that for sure, because everyone's so excited. I mean, there were 1,200 of us 2.5 years ago, and now there's 21,000 headed to 100,000. I mean, all the stars are coming. It's amazing. I think what it is mainly is the management team for the big brokerages like Coldwell Banker, like RE/MAX, like Keller Williams, like Berkshire Hathaway. They're doing their best to retain their players. Just like any football team or baseball team, you got players, and you don't want to lose your star players. In this case, it's agents and broker associates, and they can't see the forest through the trees because their kingdom is RE/MAX. Their kingdom is Berkshire Hathaway or Keller Williams. And so they refuse to see the opportunity. It's like owning 30 blockbusters and just saying, no, Netflix isn't real. And the reason they don't want it to build is because they've signed 30 commercial leases for 5 to 10 years. They're all filled with employees and overhead heating and cooling of a traditional thing. And wait a minute, people can just point and click and get their movie and have to drive down on a Friday night in stormy weather and stand in line 10 deep and buy licorice and popcorn. And they're going to have a choice not to do this. They didn't even want to recognize it, so they put their heads in the sand. How did that work out for them? Well, 5 years later, Blockbuster, who was a $6 billion, 800-pound gorilla, was no longer. They got bankrupted by Netflix. Look at Airbnb, now valued at $31 billion. They've been around 10 years. Instagram, look at Uber, like Uber. Who's going to use Uber? Well, now we all use Uber, and they're uber successful, and they're uber cool. It goes the travel agents. I'll end with that one. I mean, we used to all go to travel agents. We love to go to travel agents. Doesn't matter that you love to go to your travel agent, pick up brochures on Mexico, Cancun, Cabo, the Caribbean, Maui, Europe, the Mediterranean. It was always fun to go to your travel agent because they had all these beautiful full-color brochures of cool places to go in the world, right? The Great Barrier Reef of Australia, snorkel with the great whites. No, thank you. But some people get excited about that. Well, we all loved it, but they don't exist. We get all of our travel online, and brokerages are going online. The consumers are online looking to sell their homes, looking to buy homes. And we got there 10 years ago, and we're the first brokerage to do it, and we can't be copied. All the big real estate companies are stuck in these 5 and 10 year commercial leases. They couldn't get them out of them if they want to. The bills for these leases, a lot of them, the small ones, could be $5,000, $10,000 a month, and for another 7 years. They can't pivot. They're not agile. A lot of companies, when you're in cities like Dallas and L.A., La Jolla and Newport and Portland and Seattle and Chicago and Miami, their leases are $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a month just for the shell. And then they've got another 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 9 years left on the lease, because the longer lease they sign, the lower the amount. So they're stuck. They're actually trapped in their model, and they're going to get buried. And so you look at Toys R Us, look at Sears, look at Staples, look at 8,000 major retail chains shuttering across America as their doors close, as Amazon and other online retailers take over the world. It's all happening before our eyes. I'm just thrilled to be a part of it. It's going to happen. No, don't let it happen. It's happening. You can't stop progress. It's like being in the 8-track cassette tape business, and you don't want CDs and DVDs to come. They're coming. And then what happened after that? Digital downloads, iTunes, right? YouTube, Pandora. And nobody goes to record stores anymore. Your kids don't even know what those things are, man. They're just a place for people
Frisbees.
to buy, funky, weird stuff, right? Old-fashioned record stores, if you can even find one. But there you go.
Absolutely. So I have the same experience, the RE/MAX, the Keller Williams, with just a few. With eXp, my checks match or exceed what I got from profit share. That doesn't mean I didn't love the companies. Love the companies. It just,
right.
Everybody, I bought my own Realty Executives franchise, and I can tell you right now, I chose not to renew my franchise because I could not beat eXp. If you can't beat them, if you can't beat them, you join them.
Join them. But here's the deal. There's a lot of people that are trapped in their franchise agreements that have 5 years left, 7 years left, 3 years left. So they can't even acknowledge that we're a good model because it will decimate theirs. You were had the perfect timing. You were up for renewal and you passed. I know people that if I name their names right now, you'd be like, no way. I go, yep, they're coming to eXp, but they're trying to get out of their franchise. They're trying to ditch their franchise. Like, how do we get rid of this thing? You don't own a franchise. A franchise owns you. It tells you what you can and cannot do. And for example, if you have 3 or 4 years left on your, Century 21 franchise or Berkshire Hathaway or Remax or whatever it is, and you have so many agents, it can be $500,000 to pay them to get out. And like people, well, I don't want to drop $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 to get out. Okay, then you're in and you're stuck. And people are trapped within their franchise. Well, just sell it. Easier said than done, especially when people know that the way business is being done is changing to online. And we got here 10 years ago. It's the most exciting thing I've ever been a part of in my life. And, we're going to 400,000 agents in the U.S., and one day we have 208 countries and 25 million agents and brokers by best estimates. There'll be a couple million eXp agents worldwide because we're empowering the agent. We're putting more money in their pockets. Small caps, $16,000 a year, reasonable amount of money. It's not the least amount. It's not the most expensive, but we're able to put more money in our agents' pockets, which gives them more money to market and to run their business, which thus helps the consumer. And profitable agents are able to spend more money marketing their listings and help the consumer. And so we're a tech company. We're built on a tech platform, and it's amazing. So that's my thoughts on that.
Absolutely. We're going to take a quick break for a word from our sponsors. We'll be right back.
Southwest Topeka has a good neighbor. State Farm agent Jim Garrison, now at 29th and Urish. If your current insurance situation has you going around in circles, get off the roundabout and stop in and meet Jim and his wonderfully efficient staff. Let Jim Garrison give you a quote and make the Garrison comparison. He's confident that with State Farm's competitive rates, the right coverage, and his unmatched service, you'll want to make him your new insurance agent. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, and Jim Garrison is there for you, northeast of the roundabout at 29th and Urish.
When someone has a passion for what they do, it comes through in the product they provide their customers. Just ask LaRocco's Pizza's new owner, Jason Johnson, about their crust. They make it every day and let it rise for a minimum of 24 hours before they use it for their pizza. And his staff doesn't want to do anything they won't be the best at, and you can taste it in their pizza. LaRocco's Pizza, just a half block north of the I-470 and Gage Boulevard exit. Come taste the difference.
Thanks for joining us again. This is Karey Brown, Associate Broker with eXp Realty, and you're listening to Real Estate 101. And I am back with Brent Gove. Brent is a real estate agent out of California. Where are you at in California exactly?
Northern California, Sacramento, California. Been doing it 23 years and sold over 4,000 homes.
Awesome. So my question for this second half would be, if you're a real estate broker owner, why would you consider shuttering your doors and joining eXp?
That's a great question. I mean, most people dream of starting a real estate brokerage, and they get 10, 15, 20 agents, and they get 40 or 60. Then the agents want a bigger office, so they lease a bigger office. Then they want computers and scanners and TVs and monitors and conference rooms, and then it gets bigger. And then if you are fortunate to keep growing, you get 100, 150, 200. Now they need an office in this part of town. You lease another building. You want, you get up to 2, 3, 4, 500 agents. And you think, well, I'll just stay small. Even then, I have a friend in on the West Coast. He had about 70 agents working for him, doing 300 sales a year, around $680 sales price, which is pretty awesome. And one of them gave the keys to the buyer 2 days prior to close of escrow. And that's a problem. And it was one of his best agents. He'd only been in real estate 3 years, and the buyer begged her for the keys. Said the home's vacant. The owners have moved back east. I just need to put a few things in the garage. And I know people are listening that are not real estate agents. This happens all the time. And she caved. She gave him the key. She shouldn't have given him the key. Did he know about it? No. If he was asked, would he have said, don't do it? Of course. And so it wasn't him, but he's the broker. In other words, he's liable for her actions. And she wasn't like a crazy agent. She was one of his favorites, very successful, very sweet couple. She trusted him to just put a few things in the garage. Long story short, fast forward, the neighbor calls the owner who had moved back east and said, "Hey, congratulations, you closed your home." And he goes, "No, we close tomorrow, Friday. It's Thursday, we don't close tomorrow." He says, "Oh, no, you closed." He goes, "No, we didn't. I know we signed today, we closed tomorrow." And he says, "No, you had to have closed." He goes, "Well, why do you say that?" "Because there's a demo crew with dump trucks out in front of your house, and there's a debris field in your driveway that's about 3 feet high and about 30 feet long." He's like, "What?" He goes, "Go videotape it and then send it to me." So he goes in. They're taking sludge hammers to the cabinets in the kitchen. The granite countertops weren't the right color for the new homeowner, so they demoed the granite countertops, all the darker cabinets. It was an older home that they tried to kind of throw some granite on, stainless steel, and make it nice. It was very nice. It was like a $780,000 home. They had remodeled the bathrooms with the same granite and the same old darker cabinetry, and they had ripped out all the bathrooms with sledgehammers. They're in there just slamming away. The construction workers didn't know this was the neighbor, and he's just walking through videotaping it all, sent it to his friend who'd moved back east. Friend sees it, blows a fuse. It doesn't call his agent or his agent's broker. It doesn't call this broker. Calls the Department of Real Estate for the state of California, sends them the email and says, "I want this broker's license on a silver platter. I am so upset. If one of those construction workers gets hurt, I'm liable. I own the home. I could be sued personally." And I mean, they do stuff. Some agents, though, if they. So in other words, there's so much liability for a brokerage. And you think, well, that's what he knows for. Not if they pierce the corporate veil or they find something was done unethical. The insurance does not kick in. Most real estate company owners are a lawsuit or two away from being financially bankrupted. And if they pierce that corporate veil, they'll get everything you got. And so you're playing with fire. So if you come to eXp, all your agents get leads, they get training, 5 to 10 classes a day, they get stock awards, they get revenue sharing, which is substantial. And guess what? You're no longer the broker of record. eXp has a broker in all 50 states. A lot of states have 2, 3, 4, 5 brokers, assistant brokers to help the agents. It's very accessible. And eXp is the broker of record. So you have total freedom and you give up the liability. So if that means anything to you, giving your agents opportunity, because right now it's all about you and your agents are slaving away making sales. Well, here's the way to empower your agents with stock and revenue share, leads, and training, and then they win, you win, but you lose liability. So if you're excited about having less liability and less exposure, this is why a real estate independent franchise owner, or even if you're like you coming up to renew your franchise and you're in your 6-month look period, you're like, you know what, I'm out. That's why they're coming to eXp in droves. It's crazy. I had 35 last week join me in a day. I wish I could keep that pace. That was my record. But at 35 a day times 10, that's 350 a week. Times 12. Right now I have a poultry 400 a month joining my team, which is like a major Keller Williams franchise, a very large Keller Williams mega office joining my organization every month. And it takes usually a big franchise 10, 15, 20 years if they ever even get there to get to 400. And I do it every single month because eXp, that's cool. It's not because I'm cool. It's not because I'm talented. It's because platform, the franchise, if you will, and we're not a franchise, but the system makes that much sense. And, today we have 5,600 agents in 2.5 years. If I was a franchise owner for RE/MAX or Century 21 or whatever company, and 2.5 years later I had 5,600 agents and brokers, I would be the number one guy times a gazillion. But that doesn't happen at those other companies because they did not set up like we're set up. This year I'll end with probably well over 7,000 after 3 years, which is not bad. But our goal is to have 100,000 in our organization within the next 10 years, which is not bad. And nobody even thinks like that. I'm thinking about Argentina, Chile, Brazil, Australia, the UK, Germany, France, South Africa, Mexico, Central and South America. I never thought that way because my whole world was just selling real estate in Roseville, California. And this is just taking the shackles off the real estate agent and broker. And it's pretty cool.
It is. You can think as big as you want to think. And the more people you know, the better. And it really is one of those things that whenever you're sitting and talking to them, you're coming from contribution. And you know that you are. You're not just selling them on something.
Right. Well said. We're trying to help them have a retirement program. Most agents have no idea what they're going to do in 5 years. Whatever they're doing, they hope to sell more homes, sell them at a higher price, maybe get into commercial real estate, but they don't really have a plan. If you fail to plan, then you plan to fail by definition. You must have a plan. At eXp, we give the agents and broker associates a plan. That's all we do, and it works.
I know one of the things that everyone keeps saying is, well, you don't even have an office. You're all in the cloud. And that actually isn't true. Here locally, I do have an office. We just recently moved to 2900 Northwest Button Road. We're still in the process of getting everything moved over. But I was able to downsize because, let's be honest, agents don't always come in. They don't really need massive space. They just need a place to meet clients. And so that is what I chose to do.
All the eXp agents have offices. We're connected with Regis Corporation, which is a business hub. There's 2,000 worldwide. I know in Sacramento there are 8 hubs, and there's hundreds of people that work here. Conference rooms, two secretaries. It's a desk, not one. Full internet cafes, free Wi-Fi, coffee, hot cocoa for your clients, kids. I'm sitting here in my office. I have windows that go 30, 40 feet across, 20 feet high. I'm staring at the Sierra Nevada here in Northern California. I'm on the second floor. Drop dead gorgeous building. Usually Regis rents the nicest office buildings in your town, and they have an entire floor. We have an entire floor. Every month we sell homes to other professionals on our floor because for 20 years I worked at RE/MAX and Keller Williams. I was surrounded by hundreds of agents who had licenses. They weren't about to buy or sell a home through me. When I left that situation 2.5 years ago and moved into Regis, now I'm around hundreds of professional software engineers and CPAs and financial planners and stockbrokers who don't have real estate agents and buy and sell real estate. And we've already made a fortune just being in the building. So there's WeWork, there's Regis, there's all kinds of opportunities. Or go get your own space like you did, Karey. And so it's pretty awesome. And so that is a complete myth. All eXp agents work from an office. Now, if they go, I don't want to work from an office, I want to work from my home office, more power to you. You certainly can do that. But every agent I know, most of them have an office, and it's free to work out of the Regis. There's no charge. All of our agents get a corporate suite membership valued at anywhere from $100 to $500 a month. Every eXp agent gets one, and you can come, leather chairs, gorgeous conference rooms, high-end, super nice, no charge to you. Now, if you want to get a private office 24/7, they start at usually about $195 a month. They go to $295, $395. Mine's $995, but it's huge. I can put 15 people in here. And I have leather chairs, and it's all beautifully decorated. And I do pay $995 a month for my office, but it's massive, and few people would need one this big. I could afford it, wanted it, so I got it. There's different sizes. So, yeah, that's how that works.
Absolutely. We are almost done. Brent, let us know how to get a hold of you.
Yeah, if anyone wants to get a hold of me, just Google my name, Brent Gove, Gove. First name is Brent, Brent. Last name is Gove, G-O-V as in Victor E. I'm happy to chat with you. But if you're serious about pursuing eXp, I want you to get a hold of Karey. I'll be happy to answer your questions, but Karey's the one you need to talk to there in Topeka. I'm not here in Northern California, but Topeka, Kansas. Talk to Karey or anyone. She's amazing. I'll certainly answer your questions. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. And if you're looking to buy or sell or want to talk more about eXp, my number is 785-213-5188 or 785-249-6309. Thanks for listening to Real Estate 101.
Thank you for listening to Real Estate 101 with the Karey Brown team from Preferred Advisors.